Plenty of videos out there are being released on a weekly basis showing shelves that seem to just be completely stocked of Bud Light and rather empty on other beer brands such as Miller and Coors Light because no one wants to be associated with Bud Light or have anything to do with that company because of the Dylan Mulvaney dilemma. And with Anheuser-Busch, they're getting to the point in which they may lose shelf space for Bud Light if their sales data doesn't turn around soon within the next month or so, which is huge for any company because the more shelf space you have, the more prominent of a company people tend to associate that with and end up buying the product because of its popularity or whatever it may be. And if they lose that space, other brands will take over as becoming the new number one beer brand here in the USA. And when that happens, it is going to be very difficult for Bud Light to retrieve that lost shelf space. As the Daily Mail puts it, Bud Light is running out of time and could lose market share forever. Brand will lose retail shelf space to Miller and Coors if they cannot reverse plunging sales, warns ex-Anheuser-Busch executive. If Bud Light sales continue to lag, the brand risks losing shelf space at major retailers to competitors and locking in lower market share, a former Anheuser-Busch executive has claimed. And with sales continuing to plunge for Bud Light, we have seen that they are going to the extent of buying unsold or expired beer cases from wholesalers to ease tensions and provide some stability when it comes to the boycotts, as Bud Light has lost up to $27 billion in market value, even having the company offering giant rebates to customers of up to 50% off, or even in some cases, the rebates being so big that you are able to get a case of Bud Light for free. And still, no one wants to buy it because of brand association. Anson Fredericks, the former U.S. president of sales and distribution for St. Louis-based Anheuser-Busch, said that retailers such as Walmart and Kroger typically reset their shelf space allocations in the spring and fall based on sales data. For the fall reset in September, they generally take sales data from April, May, June, July, and then based off of the data in that time period, they will reallocate shelf space, he told DailyMail.com in a phone interview on Saturday. If Bud Light sales continue to slump, that shelf space will be allocated to Miller Lite, Coors Light, Yuengling, and some of the other brands that have taken share from them, he said. And with the sales data that have been reported for May and June, so far Bud Light has only until the end of July to see a giant rebound in their sales if they want to see any chance of keeping that shelf space, because retailers aren't going to allow products that aren't selling to take up much of the space. That would make absolutely no sense from a business standpoint. Fredericks would also state Anheuser-Busch needs to figure out a strategy. It needs to make a statement about who their customers are and who they are going to serve now and try and regain those customers now in June and July, because by the time it's August, September, it's too late, he said. Even an ex-executive who worked for Anheuser-Busch knows what needs to be done, and that is to make a public apology stating that Bud Light is sorry for the missteps that they took, which is what many are waiting to hear. But it is too late. It has been a few months since the start of the boycotts, and they still have done absolutely nothing about it. We have also seen with every new marketing ad that Bud Light has done, it has completely backfired for them, being called out by everyone because of just how quickly the company is trying to move on from the situation, as if no one will notice it. And the sad thing is that the wrong people are going to be losing their jobs for the missteps of the higher-ups who paved the way for this boycott to happen, and more than likely, those are the same people that are going to be keeping their jobs. We are already seeing sales staff for Bud Light losing up to $2,000 a month, which is going to force many of them to find a new job if things don't turn around for the better. And just imagine what distributors or wholesalers that carry Bud Light products are going to be faced with when it comes to laying off of some of their staff. And another big thing is that 60% figure. Having Bud Light falling 60% in sales this past Memorial Day weekend. That's the biggest drop that has been stated publicly. It doesn't seem that Anheuser-Busch's move to change the style of some of their beer cans to active camo was a complete failure. This company is in panic mode. They're being faced with lower and lower sales week by week, and they're also facing lost in shelf space, which is really important for a giant business, all because they wanted to make their beer more inclusive for everyone, even though anyone could have enjoyed their beer and consumed it. But now it has become the pride beer, the gay beer, the trans beer, and a public apology is already way too late, and many customers have moved on to other beer brands. And with all that in mind, I'd like your guys' thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.